coming to the point. Now let's say I'm in this is my Git Bash. Everybody can see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now I'm into my Git Bash. Now I want to go to certain place, or right? You can use your bash or you can use anything. Now, when you see all this, right? First, let's say, if I have to close this, all I'll do is Control C. When I do that, it will shut down all the kernels which I was using it previously. Okay. Now I want to go to the previous section. I'll just say CD and put 2 dots. You remember all this? Bhuneshwari madam was teaching you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So wherever I want to go, I'll use that folder. Now from here itself, from my Git Bash itself, I can start doing things. Right? You don't have to go to a particular folder and do things. For example, I want to go to the folder where in my system, I have a folder, right? Which is of this particular data cleaning data set, wherever I am. So I know that location. All I'm going to do is I'm going to search it within the bash. So it's like I'm going to do CD. I know that, okay, the folder's name starts with AMSPARKS. So first I'm going to do is AM. And when I use the tab button here, it will automatically tell you whatever the first name comes in. So there are multiple files. There are multiple files and folders which are of this part, right? Same way, before going here, let's say if I say I want to know what are there in this folder, right? Here I want to know what are there. So all I will do is I'll just say ls, which is for the list, and it will give me the list. What are the lists that are there in this within this? So all these folders which are there, right? Right? So all these folders are there within my, right? That way, all these files and folders are there within this particular section. Okay. Now in this, I want to go to this folder. Let's say AMSPARKS for data science. All I'm going to do is within the system. Now I regularly what I'll do, I'll go to that particular folder. I'll have a right click buttons. I'll start doing things and then it will open. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to CD to AMSPARKS and I'll say DS _DS. That was the folder name which I wanted to go into. And when I say enter, it is now I am in AMSPARKS DS folder. And in this, I want to open the Jupyter notebook. Now what I have done is within my file of Git Bash, I already have created a shortcut which is for Jupyter notebook, right? So I'll give you what was the shortcut with no. I think NB, sorry, Jupyter notebook. So I have created this. No, this is not. Jupyter. What was that notebook shortcut? Yeah. Yeah. So it opened the Jupyter notebook. Everybody is seeing? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so I've opened the Jupyter notebook from there. This will open in my default browser. So wherever my Jupyter notebook is as a default browser, it will open. All I need to do is go on to the particular file where I want to work on. Now, if you see, there are already in this folder where I'm going to work on, or where the Jupyter notebook is, in the same folder, there are these CSV files. So wherever you are going to work on Jupyter notebook, in that section, your files have to be there. The CSV files which you're going to download, you need to place it there so that it starts reading within the folder. Now, let's say when I do that, so whatever project I had worked on, it will give all the details. So in simple terms, what I have done. So first, I have imported pandas as PD. I have imported NumPy as NP. This can be, as Vignesh sir told, it can be any PD1, PD2, or NP1, NP2, whatever you want to name it, you can. But according to, I mean, all the people who are using it, they just put it as PD. It's a standard format that they have done. Same way NP. Bourne is again, these are different libraries which has been already installed into my system. So whatever libraries you want to use it, you have to get it installed into your system and then import it. So these are all inbuilt libraries which are there. Whenever it throws an error for some library, just get it installed. So pandas, NumPy, Seaborn, Matplotlib. Now PyPlot is I use this. So, and I'm importing this as PLT. Same way. Now what I've done is, now when I put the maximum display number of columns, you remember, like I can, when Bhuneshwari madam was talking about it, she was telling like how to set the options, like how many columns you want to. Now, when I'm importing this, I want to check where this folder is of Jupyter Notebook. So I'm just putting this ls, it will give me all the details. What is this all about? What this folder has. So there is a git ignore file, there are .learn files, there is index files, the readme file. If you see the previous section where I opened it, all this was available. Now, here I know that there are two CSV files which are available, superheroes power and heroes information. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to name this data frame and I'm going to read this CSV. So this CSV is this under this data frame and this CSV is under this data frame. Okay, so when I'm going to read heroes dot head, this will give me the top 5 rows and columns. Okay, so I know that, okay, these are the need, right? So when you say columns, this columns, each of the columns becomes, your feature. Understood? So you're going to check the feature here, that how many features are there. Same way, I'm going to check the other data frame, which is the top. I'll check the info. It will give me the info. Now remember why this is looking in this fashion. The only reason is I have not used parentheses here. So if I use the brackets, it will show it in a different way. So that will be there. So these are without the parentheses. When you use parentheses, it shows this way in rows and columns. Without the parentheses, it will show it this way. So you need to check that. Head, tail. Now, whatever columns I need to drop, I will drop. Vignesh sir, as he told, remember axis. What is axis 1 and axis 0? Spandana, Zaira. Anybody home?
Yeah, Kishore.
Spandana, are you there? She does not seem to be
Yes,
there.
sir.
Yeah. What is axis 1 and axis 0?
Axis 0, I think to drop the row.
Okay, so yeah, correct. So when you say axis 1, it will drop from the column. When you say axis 0, it will drop from the row. Okay.
Yeah.
So you select that and you will select the shape of each one of them. So shape will give you what are the number of rows, what are the number of columns. And then like you ask for description, it will, when you say describe, it will describe it will take all the numerical columns and it will give you what are the mean, median, all those details when you do the description. Same way, right? You can have other descriptions. Now, whenever there are more rows and more columns, you want to have everything together, it will give it to you. You go by, these are basic functions. Info, right? You're talking about head, tail, describe, and then I'm checking on the null values. Okay, so there are different ways to select the null values also. And this is one of the ways. You select, and when you do dot sum, it will give you exactly. So every time you give, so these are the functions extensions. It will give you exactly what you want to do. Same way, right? It will, if you want to list the, right, convert it into a list, you can do that. If you want to make it into a dictionary, you can do that. The way you want to work around each of them to find out. Value counts will give you exactly what are the values on each of the columns and each of the row. Okay, so total counts. Same way here, you're right. You want to give the formula to find out what the percentages it will give you. I'm using length plus the total null values, the sum of null values divided by the length. It will give me the details. So according to the data I'm working on, I'll start thinking what I need to. I'm going through just the data. I'm not started doing anything. So I'm just using this basic functions to understand the data. So this is how I will start understanding. Right now, merge functions. So these are all different functions which you use just to find out about what's happening, what you need to do with the data. You'll slowly go ahead and start finding. Okay, so now here what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to merge both the data frame into one. And how will I merge it? For merging, I will require, right, two sections. Whenever you're merging your data, right, you will have, it's like merging your data with Excel also. You will have to have a common column. And based on what column you need to merge. If there are no common columns, they're based on the index numbers, it will start merging. So you'll have to understand how to merge it. You'll have to understand what needs to be done. And in case like you want to merge or do anything like that, right? So based on that, I'll just use the data frame, find about the data frame, and then I'll start plotting to find out exact details, whatever I want. Understanding, everybody? Anything that is right, you're finding it difficult. These are all different ways of visualization. Okay. I'm using ggplot, right? You can use anything that you want. There are so many ways that there are options. You just need to do research which one suits the best. Like yesterday when Vignesh sir was telling what kind of plots are used for what, based on that, like you can start working on your plots. Check on your plots, right? You need to define everything every time like you do things. Okay, whatever you want to find out, based on that, define that and go into there. Indentation is one of the important things, like Bhuvneshwari madam told while she was explaining you earlier also, right? Everywhere. The rule is very simple. It depends on the indentation or whether you are going to get error or not. So all this space which you're seeing here is the indentation. And based on this indentation, it will see the computer will understand where it needs to search and what it needs to do. Whether it needs to restart or it needs to go under this. So the more indentation, the better. I mean, no, not more indentation, the more accurate indentation, it will be better. So simple, you work around these factors and see what is there, find out whether there is length. And when you're using, always remember that when you're using lambda function, right? When Bhuvneshwari madam was explaining you about the lambda, it's like an anonymous function. So it can go with anything and everything that you want. You find exactly what you want from the functions and go ahead accordingly. Right now, anytime, right, whatever you want to do, whether you want to calculate the first part, last part, whether you want to calculate any, right, the top features, right, select those accordingly, write your function based on, right, any of your setup. Find out what is the function that you're going to write, and from there you will be able to take it ahead. Okay, now if you see, right, you want to change or you want to convert it into a dictionary, you want to convert it into a list according to your requirement, just go ahead. Right now I created a separate dictionary, right, for finding out certain things. You can do that the same way. Okay, now all this are based on what I read on this particular data set, what I want to figure out on this data set. Accordingly, what you will have to do is this, you will have to figure out all these data sets. Same way, if you want to search for something, for example, if you're on Git Bash or GitHub, right? Let's say you're signing, then which one? Let's say Let me see if I have the 6-digit code. So let's say if I want to search for the Titanic dataset. So in GitHub, I can go for so there are different people who have worked on the Titanic dataset already. I can do my research on that, like how they did it. If I just go there, check how they did it. If I check the PYNB file, so this is all about your research, how you are going to do your research properly. And this information, so there are so many people who have already worked on different data sets, right? Just go ahead and find out how they did it, what they did for their exploratory analysis, what they did. And based on that, right, you can always check on your information. So this is the Jupyter notebook. You can always write, if you want to download this database and just work on that, you can do that. So these are different codes that they have written. From that, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, just check and write the functions that is there, set up and get things done. Understood? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I know it is going to be a load, but then we need to practice a lot. That is the whole idea about becoming a good data scientist. So more, right, whether it is data science or data engineer or whatever you're going to deal with data, the idea. So the idea is like how exactly you're going to practice. The more you practice, the better you will become. So there are so many things that are available, right, as your research material, right? We can guide you to a particular direction. From there, like it's all going to be your efforts, how you're going to take it ahead. Okay? Yes? No?
Yes, sir.
Any questions so far?
The previous year class notes will be available on the same
Yeah,
website.
yeah. It will be available today itself. He will upload it. and on into your right dashboard itself, like on the course itself, it will be available. So you can go and check it there. And shortly, I'll be uploading the video also.
Okay.
I'll get the video uploaded. All right, we'll continue with other process of the video later on, but then I'll at least get the videos of yesterday's and today uploaded in the next few hours, right? And from there, like you can also check, right? Because all the recordings that are there that you will be able to see, and all the notes that are there that will be also available onto the what I say in within the LMS platform which we have, right? As and Pratyay also has uploaded the data set which you need to work on. So immediately you can start working on your data set and start. It's basically how you import your file is very simple. Download your data set, go right, put that data set into the folder where you are going to open the Jupyter notebook or where you're going to place the Jupyter notebook. Okay. And from there, just start exploring the data. Yeah, Pratyay.
Yeah, just one thing that I want to discuss here is while you download the data, so it should be in TXT format. So you have to change that into CSV, so that you can work it. I mean, in Jupyter. So
Yeah.
I hope, yeah. So I hope that won't be any problem with you, right?
That should not be any problem. In case anything is there, see whatever format you want to read it into. All right. The whole idea is like put it into the CSV. The best way to easily recognize things is to convert it into a CSV format. And is it not already in CSV format?
I think so, but I really don't know. It might got changed. I mean, I have uploaded the CSV file only, but
Yeah,
I guess there is some formatting which is, like converting it into TXT file. So just that
Okay.
you have to reconvert it and use it actually. I mean, the primary source of the data was TXT, so I have converted it myself into CSV because I didn't want them to go through this pain, but unfortunately it didn't work out. So again, it got self-converted into TXT while I uploaded it into the LMS. Yeah.
So we can do one more thing, right? Upload the file onto the what do you say?
Google Drive or something.
Google Drive. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can upload it to the Google Drive. Send me the CSV file. Email the CSV file. I'll get it uploaded on the
Sure.
site itself, so that
Sure.
from there they can download in case they are not able to download from here.
Yeah, but I mean, this is something what they should try first. Of course,
Correct.
I'll be sending that. Yeah, because I mean, most of the files are in that format only. So this is something. Yeah, I mean, with on from all the online platforms. So if you are downloading data, so most of them are in TXT format. I mean, a
Perfect.
few of them at least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good. Swandana?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Kala, you have any questions?
No, Kishore.
Okay. Perfect. I'll talk to each one of you one by one during this week, right? And yeah, I'll have some details to be shared and things to be completed. So, and Spandana, please book your one-on-one with any of them so that while you're working on your data set, you can get the details directly, get things sorted out while you're sharing your screen and getting things done. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, everybody. Anything else you would want to share?
No, Kishore.
All good.
Hmm?
All good.
All good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, and have a nice Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
See you.
Kishore. You
Have a
too.
great day ahead.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone. Yeah.